The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Boy, that music be just having you just got that beat and you just feel like you be thumping, man. Jesus, hallelujah. Fun. Good evening to everybody and welcome to another segment of Setting It Straight with Miss Gray. And I'm going to go and introduce my fabulous co-host, and then we're going to talk about a couple of other things as well. And we have a very special guest tonight. So here we go, ladies. Holler back at us. How are you doing, Tommy, from around the way?
Hey. I'm right here.
Virginia. How you doing, y'all?
Hey.
You had a good week?
Yes.
Well, praise God for that. Before we bring on our guest, I want to have a moment of silence for the shooting that happened in Nashville. So let's have a moment of silence. It's a sad day. It continues to be a sad day. But this is why we talk about some things, certain topics, because we really want to help you really clear the clutter out of your mind. Also prioritize yourself and know when to do that. And it's very important. Well, I have a young lady that's coming on to join us tonight, that is doing some fabulous things back in my hometown of Palm Beach County. Without further ado, may I please introduce to all of y'all my baby sister, Miss Nakia Vereen. Come on, Nakia. Wait, where you at? Yo, there she is. Thank you. Woo-hoo. We got that little clap for you. Got that little applause for you. Hallelujah.
I like it.
Well, yes, guys, this is my baby sister. And we don't talk about the age difference. We know the difference. Hallelujah. And we're going to keep it at that. All right. Well, anyway, I asked her to come on when the Lord gave the idea. It's not our ideas. We get together, Nakia, prior to the upcoming month and talk about what kind of topics. And I take a look at the calendar as well to see what's national days of things. And of course, as we know, March is Women's History Month. And I think the world is slowly coming around and acknowledging that. And, recognizing some women in their hometowns or in their cities, their states, and in their countries as well. But I really feel that the reason why the Lord asked for us to pursue you is because here you are, you're in your own business. And what she does for a living, guys, she's an esthetician. But she's not your ordinary esthetician. You just don't walk in, set up an appointment and she pops pimples or whatever else they do on the other shows. She don't do that. She really does an assessment, and her passion for this field is what I hear when we just check in with each other. And I really want to share that with everybody. She is an esthetician. She's a beauty business coach and entrepreneur, and her business is called the Art of Aesthetics. So I'm gonna, I could talk forever. Y'all know that, and I'm not going to. And she could talk just as much. Okay, apples don't fall far from the tree. However, I'm going to be quiet. I want Nakia, you're going to take out. I know what you need to do. You know what to do. You know how this flows. And then Tommy and Trey, y'all kick right in with some questions and things like that. We've got some special people viewing this tonight. I had to give them a shout out and a reminder for some of them. Would you please just go and log in and just, I didn't tell them what it was, but it's going to be a special. And God just told me it's history in the making for us. So without further ado, Nakia, take it away.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. My name is Nakia Simone. My sister kind of butchered my last name, but that's okay. My middle name is Simone. That's where you can find me on Instagram as Nakia Simone, or you can find me as artofaesthetics.co on Instagram as well. And I am a licensed esthetician in the state of Florida. I specialize in medical corrective skincare treatments, primarily. Most of my clientele are women of color, and I take such great pride in being able to take care of the women in my community. A lot of us, well, at least let me speak for myself. When I grew up, I used to have a lot of acne and pigmentation, and it made me really self-conscious. Going into the workforce, I worked for a company, I worked in beauty care, where it was a requirement for us to wear 3 pieces of makeup, and that, of course, made my acne worse. And as I looked around and working for this, Fortune 500 company, being able to go to these 5-star resorts and spas, I didn't see anybody who looked like me. And representation is really important. So, looking around, the internet wasn't as big as it is today. And there was nobody. The standard of beauty didn't look like me. When I looked into the industry, it didn't look back and it didn't look like me. So I decided after getting out of that field, or getting out of that company and moving to somewhere else, I realized what my passion was. At first, I wanted to have a 6-figure salary. So I was chasing a 6-figure salary because that's where I wanted to be and that's what I thought I wanted. And as soon as I got settled into that place, I realized this was not what I wanted. And I really missed being in the beauty care space. And I had thought for a long time about becoming an esthetician, but unfortunately with my schedule, and the demand of being a general manager, I couldn't make it work. But as I stepped into a new role, I had a little bit of availability, and I decided that I was going to be the change that I wanted to see in the industry and in the world. And so I became a licensed esthetician and interned for about a year and a half for a medical esthetician, so I could really get I'm sorry. Your niece is having a fit right now. She's 2. Don't mind her. Her father's with her. But I entered into being a medical esthetician, working for dermatologists and in med spas, so that I would have an opportunity to learn how to treat and understand skin at a very high level. And after working for dermatologists for a few years, I decided to branch off into my own skincare business, first as a side hustle. But then I had the little 2-year-old that's having a fit back there. And it was COVID, and I decided to step fully out on faith and into full-time entrepreneurship. And that's where I've been for the last 2.5 years. And it's been the most amazing journey. Since then, I've become an 8-time award-winning international esthetician. I train estheticians in order for them to feel confident in corrective skincare treatments and to grow wildly successful businesses. And I'm just getting started. But in studio, I help women feel confident in their skin, allow them to pour into themselves and set aside some time to really take care of themselves. And for women of color, primarily we don't see our faces in this industry, and some of the things that I teach my clients, they've never heard of before. I tell them to wear sunscreen, and they're like, "Girl, black don't crack," and I'm like, "Let me explain that a little bit in detail for you." So just really being able to bring the knowledge, being able to help people prioritize their self-care, is something that I'm really passionate about. The message that is very clear to me now is that I'm just supposed to be in place. And so being able to stand in the gap for people, and being able, as an esthetician, I'm going to stop talking in a second, but as an esthetician, I also double as, kind of like a therapist. When you go to your salon and you talk to people, I'm the first person to know when a woman is pregnant. I got to know because I can't put everything on your face. I also am the first person to know if something happens with that pregnancy. I help people through things that I never envisioned that I would. And I think it's such a privilege to be able to be in place for other people. And so I'm just glad to be of service and hoping that I can help Black women take better care of themselves.
I have a question.
Sure.
Because I have a granddaughter now that is in college, and she has another year, almost say 2 years left. Her desire is once she finish her degree in business, she want to go and become a licensed esthetician. I had
Okay.
never really heard of it till she said it.
Mm,
And so if she were to try to come to your school, how are you virtual? Are you just brick and mortar?
sure.
How? Because I would love for her to speak with you because she said, I'm not going to summer school anymore because I got to save my daddy GI Bill for my esthetician school because they will pay.
Nice, nice.
So I'm just, flabbergasted that here she can see somebody of her own necessity. I'm saying that word wrong. But anyway, ethnicity
Mm-hmm.
to teach her something far more than what probably would be done in the mainstream.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
so that's why I'm asking, how, because she I think they said she could do it in 6 months after she's out of school. But if that's the case and she spend her money, I want to make sure she get all she need. Yet she
Absolutely.
has her own. She want to be her own entrepreneur. She already has her own label and all this great stuff. So
That's
I want
awesome.
to be able to give her some more direction as to. I know it's a great feel or a good feel. It's not um, as well known to us as there is to our um, counter sisters, but
Mm-hmm.
I just would love to hear more or
Sure.
what your advice is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to her. The beauty care industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So you'll notice all the celebrities from um, John Legend just launched a new line, J Lo, um, Brad Pitt, names on top of names. Beauty care industry is really where it's at. So I think we're starting to see more inclusion and diversity in that. For a licensed esthetician, I recommend going to a state school because you're going to get the same curriculum that you would get in going to like a private beauty academy. That's the route that I took. And then as you get into more specialties, then you can go into more of a private education. So if you want to get into laser or electrolysis or things like that, or continuing education, like my program is a continuing education program. So you need to be a licensed esthetician before enrolling in the program. And then I take you through what you need to learn in order to be a corrective skincare specialist and to niche down to that area. Because in aesthetics, it's a wide amount of different things that you can niche down into. So you could treat acne, you could do age management, pigmentation, you could do more relaxing massages and be in a spa. You can also do waxing and sugaring and lashes and lash lifts and brow tinting and oh my. So there's a lot of different ways that you can really specialize. And I think it's really important for new estheticians to work underneath someone. I know everyone wants to be an entrepreneur and it's very glorified on social media, but it's also really ghetto. So I just want everybody to know that it's like you want, especially when there's such a wide array of things that you could potentially do. It's nice to get your feet wet and get expertise and experience underneath somebody and on somebody else's payroll. So that way you can start to build and see what you really like. I'll give you an example. When I first started, I was working in the med spa and I decided that I wanted to do permanent eyebrows. And I started doing them and went to a program and invested. It was a sizable investment, a four-figure investment into a training program, and did a few sets of brows. And maybe 4 months into it, I just didn't like it. I didn't. It was uncomfortable. It was a lot. It just wasn't where my heart was. My passion was really in corrective skincare, and so with that sizable investment, along with the device and everything, actually we're closer to like a 5-figure investment. And so it's really important to find your groove, see what really works for you. When you're in school, you're going to learn the basics to pass the state board. And so it's really on you in that entrepreneurial spirit to get more information, to intern, to work with other people, to enroll in courses, to invest in yourself. So that way you can really find out what you really love and to really understand how to operate in your scope of practice. If you guys, I'm an esthetician, so my algorithm on Instagram shows me lots of skincare things, but there are a lot of estheticians who are not, who are undertrained in doing corrective skincare services, in treating skin of color. And I see the horror stories all up and down my timeline, which is the main reason why I'm really invested in making sure that estheticians know how to treat skin of color. Because for whatever reason, there's a misconception that darker skin means more resilient. And that's the complete opposite. The type of melanin that we have as Black women or Black people is actually more sensitive to heat, to sun, so on and so forth, to actual treatments that would cause injury. Our melanin cells are completely different than people that are more fair skin or lighter tone. And so some people will go aggressive with the skin. So like, oh, I've got a black mark. And they're like, oh, let's throw, a 20% chemical peel on that. And some people would think, oh, that higher is better. And that's completely opposite. It takes a lot longer to clear pigmentation on darker skin tones. To clear acne, it can take longer. The lighter skin tones, it's a little bit easier, just because their skin isn't as sensitive to products. Now, granted, you can still mess some stuff up, but the type of melanin that we have, it turns brown or black when there's an injury, and they can also hypopigment. So if you're looking at someone who is of Caucasian, background, their melanin is pink or yellow. And so that looks completely different when there's an injury. So they might be red, but then there's also treatments that get rid of red, like laser treatments that can grab that really easily. And so what I would say to her is go focus in on her program, and then look in the area that she wants to work in, and look for, if she's looking for doing waxing, if she wants to do lashes, if she wants to do skin, look for people in that area. I always encourage any of my students to look for dermatologists or med spas within a 10-mile radius, and go walk in and have your resume, be cute, have all the things done, make sure your nails look good because they're going to look, and introduce yourself. That is how I got my internship. I was literally going to the UPS store, and I'm sitting outside, and at the time I was on the phone with my husband, who was I don't know, maybe it was my fiance, maybe it was my boyfriend. I don't know. He was something. I was on the phone with him, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a medical aesthetics office here. Like, that's exactly what I want to do. And this is, I literally haven't even gotten into the course yet. I've enrolled, but I haven't gone to a physical class. And I walk in, I introduce myself to the owner and the esthetician, and every week I would send her a text message, because she gave me her information to be able to text her and say, hey, this is what I learned this week. This is what I learned this week. And then eventually she was like, oh, do you want to come in? Oh, do you want to go to this training on this brand that is a multi-million-dollar brand, that is like the creme de la creme? And oh yeah, sure. I've met CEOs and and big industry leaders, because I walked into a place and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. I have no experience in this field, but hey, I've got, this background and this is what I want to do. And by being consistent, by following up with her when there was an opportunity available, she offered me a job. And she actually offered me a job a few times. I wasn't ready the first time. I was still trying to hold on to that good figure salary. But then I transitioned into aesthetics, and it was amazing. All the things that I was kind of scared of, like, oh, is it going to be okay? Am I going to be able to make this happen? And literally everything made a way. There was a way made for me.
Well, I appreciate that, and this is so well needed right now. And from an academic perspective, I always encourage, from a college perspective, when you have internship opportunity, and if you got two that's coming, like if you have two, one in undergrad and one in graduate level, that first one I would suggest that children may not be what your interest, your target population. But I would encourage people, do something with kids. Mine was not when I was in undergrad school. Mine was not. So I went and was at a runaway shelter at Children's Home Society on Broadway down there. And I did not like the kids at all, but I knew, this is only 50 to 75 hours. Let me get through this. I could put it on my resume so that I knew when I went to graduate school, my 180, 100 and 200 hours was going to be geared towards my elderly. And that's what, really. So I appreciate you bringing that up. When they're going to school, go ahead and get it all. Get exposed to all of it. But look at how many divisions it is now, and then specialize later and get some certifications along the way, even though you may not do brow. But right now they've got a special on that. When to invest in yourself. And Nakia, speak to that about investing in yourself as far as taking classes and listen to webinars. There's a lot of free stuff on YouTube and things like that. Can you speak a little bit to that? And Trey's going to ask you a question.
Yeah, absolutely. So investing in yourself is the best investment that you'll ever make, right? You're gonna if no one else is going to invest in you, you better invest in yourself. And so for estheticians, whatever brands you partner with, they usually have education, sometimes paid, sometimes free, depending on what type of account you are. They have trade shows that you can go to, which is a great opportunity to network and to learn more. This industry is changing rapidly. All the time, there's new brands that are coming out. There's new technology that's coming out. There's new formulations that are coming out. And so if you're not up on top of it, then you are left behind. So I find joy in being able to learn something new, because when I learn something new, then as Dr. Maya Angelou says, is when you learn, then you teach. And so it gives me an opportunity to share my knowledge with other people. And investments, there are ones that are just time, and they're investments of money, naturally. And I think that we have to not only invest in our skill set, but you have to invest in your mindset. There's what you do physically with your hands. But as I said, we work as, these pseudo therapists, and you're holding space for people, and you're physically touching people, and you're healing people, skin and ailments and things like that. So you have to understand that you have to really take care and pour into yourself in order to make sure that you can have a long-term career here. So for me, investments also include yoga. I have a yoga certification because doing permanent makeup and doing so many facials back to back, I had to go to a chiropractor, and my spine had started to curve forward because I'm always like this. So investment in myself means I need to go to yoga class 3 times a week. I had to get a certification because I'm that person that I need to understand. But I have to do that as well. And then I also need to, maybe invest in some mindset things. I might need to invest in a therapist. I might need to invest in, different certification programs. All of those things come a part of it. And I think that's what entrepreneurship is, because when you think of corporations, I've worked for corporations and they invest a whole lot into their people. So for instance, one of the brands I used to work for, when we would have our annual sales meeting, they would start off the day with, some movement. So you could go hiking, you could do yoga, you could do something like that. And then they would spend the first part of the day focus in on your mindset, teaching you maybe how to meditate, how to manage stress, so on and so forth. And then they're going to get into, let's educate you now. Now that I've kind of taught you a way to fill up your cup, let me show you what you came here for. And then also making sure that we're something that we do skip over, which I think is still important, is making sure that you have time for celebration. A lot of times I feel like, especially as Black women, we just keep going and we keep going and we keep going. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're almost there. Let's keep going. But taking time to invest in the celebration, because realistically, we're meant to live and enjoy life. And so if we don't take a moment to celebrate what we accomplished, even the small wins, we'll forget about them. And so we have to celebrate them.
Okay. Well, I don't like Trey's going to get me later because she goes, don't be put me on the spot. I'll ask my question when I get ready. But anyway, I appreciate that you're mobile, and I appreciate that, you're going to be, doing some exciting things with your practice and everything. So it's so funny how we do similar things. I'm just in the mind, and you're about the holistic approach on body and mind and soul. And I think that's just so awesome. And I'm so proud of you. I've said it to her before, but I'm going to say it on the air publicly. I am so proud of her. And I know she never said, oh, one day I'm going to be a teacher, and one day I'm going to be on this thing called the web thing. And I never said it. She never said it. And look at her now. It's also ironic that you're in a career and that demands ongoing education. As a social worker, I'm in that same spot. Continuing ed is nothing for me. I expect, because I want to be better. I want to have knowledge so I can better help my clientele and my community. So that is interesting to, people got to understand and change. You're in an industry, like you said, that's constantly changing. Brad Pitt got a skincare line. I know they used to tease about the fact that he liked to moisturize. The chauffeur, his former chauffeur, thought he was doing something when he exposed that. And when Kris Kardashian said, well, Brad Pitt moisturizes, and it's about moisturizer every day. That's all she talked about. And it just blew up. Now he's got a skincare line, and people are going to buy it because he looks good, and what he does. And then, oh God, he made it. So it's important. Are you going to be doing any, making any products of your own? Because I know you endorse some products and you make recommendations, but is that possibly in the future that you're going to be creating your own skincare line?
I've definitely thought about it. And then I've, gotten into the details of it. I would definitely love to be able to do it. I won't say it's off the table. But what I'm focusing on right now is what the products that I know that are in the main reason why is because there's a lot of technology and formulation and specialty that goes into creating high-end products. And I'm really about making sure that my clients get the best product. And so I would love to be able to create a product for them, but I also know that it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to create these products. And so I like I'm the plug right now. I'm going to find you the perfect skincare product to assess your needs, but I won't close the door on it, but I definitely looked into it and I was like, yeah, so the way my wallet's set up right now, we're not going to do that. But they have like private labeling that you can do as well as custom formulation. But right now I'm in my educator bag and just trying to get as many estheticians educated and confident and highly skilled as possible.
Now, she's also stepped outside of that. We were just talking casually, and I said, I need to get the right supplements. Everybody wants to say, oh, take this supplement or take that supplement. And we were just talking one day. I said, and the Lord placed, he said, ask her. I said, ask her. And I said, what kind of supplements do you recommend? And she asked me some basic questions. That's what you do. You ask some basic questions on what the need, what are you looking for? What are some of the problem areas? And she immediately said, well, I kind of like this. And I've been taking them and I feel better.
Yeah.
I feel better. and stuff. So, and it's going to cost. It costs to be cute. One of my former coworkers used to say that it costs to be cute. And I said it all the time. It does cost, and you've got to invest in yourself. And this is what we're talking about, that self-care. Some of the other topics, Nakia, we had this month rather, was who are you checking in on? Who's checking in on you? What are your self-care? What are your affirmations you tell yourself? Because the Bible says, sometimes you have to encourage yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Not everybody's going to be there. Look at your tribe, look at your circle, look at your inner circle. Look, you got to get this right, because the world is not there for everybody. It's not going to be. The world keeps falling out every single day now.
Yeah.
We've got people who are hurting out here. They feel they have nobody to talk to. And that's what I still can't get over. You certainly should be able to talk to somebody. So you hear a lot of things, and you're able, and your clients trust you. I've just, peeked my head in on some of her interviews and stuff. And, and the way the women was just so like, oh my God. They were like a sponge. They want to soak up her information that she had to, and that's important. That's leadership also. Yeah. That's leadership also. So I am glad that you are staying on top of it, this industry. You already have made your place in it, and you're going to create more space. And you as you reach back for other people and just your education. If anybody's out there listening, which I know you all are, and there will be people that will be coming back and reviewing, the taped shows. We're running her information at the bottom of the screen here. She's in Palm Beach County, and I may be able to convince her, to come up here to Orange County, every now and then for a health fair or something. I just have to have the right table, so we won't be flipping you over into the field there. But anyway, I think she can travel. She's mobile. We can make her mobile and things like that. And we can send her to different places. But you got to understand, you got to take care of yourself. You have got to love yourself and love the skin you're in. This is what we're talking about tonight. Yeah. Love who you are. And if you don't like some things about you, do something about it instead of complaining. Nobody's listening in that regard.
They say
so
nobody
come out the gate. Huh?
I said, they say nobody cares.
Come out the gate. I got one of my t-shirts that said, just don't be afraid to set the standard. Just don't be afraid. Just set the standard. Just set it. And when people look at me, they're like, oh, wow. Yeah. So the t-shirts that Lord, have me doing, I want you to read it, and I want you to go apply. It's application time now. That's for those who've been going to conferences and looking at some webinars and things like that. Now it's time to apply what you've heard, what you've been taught. And let's see what was important. Is there anything else you want to add to this, Nikki, that you feel the audience, because we have a variety, a diverse set of audience, all ages, and they're from all countries and things like that. Some countries seem to celebrate beauty and care and skincare a different way. I know here in America, here in Florida, we're trying to get it right, But what would you suggest? Where do we go from here now? Where do we go? Is it ever too late to start?
Oh, no, I don't think it's ever too late to start. It's not over until it's over, right? So I think that we have to start setting aside the time. One thing that I find with a lot of my clients, is especially I deal with a lot of business professionals, executive level people who've got a lot that they're managing, and homes that they're running, and husbands and kids and all the things, right? We have to prioritize the time. I have a client who is a prosthodontist, and we're talking. She specializes in veneers and stuff. And she
I thought there was a dinosaur or something. That's okay thing.
No, not a Tyrannosaurus. But she was telling me about her skin concerns, and I'm telling her, so what I want you to do is take 7 minutes, because this is like 7 minutes. Like if you it's her thing. Like it's 11:37 if we're going somewhere. She likes the number 7. So I was encouraging her, once you put down your newborn, take 7 minutes before you go downstairs and have dinner with your husband. And she's like, oh, come on, 7 minutes? Like, can we make this like a 2-minute thing? And I was like, so what I'm hearing you say is that you don't have 7 minutes to give yourself to achieve the goals that you want for your skin. Just let me know if I'm wrong or right. I have a client who's a travel nurse who, skin is having issues, and she's working as a travel nurse. So she's feeding her body caffeine first thing in the morning. Don't do that. Um, so, I'm like, so first thing in the morning, I want you to get 1 bottle of water. I want you to drink that first. You have to adequately hydrate your body. It's going to take care of your internal organs first. Your epidermis, your skin, is the only external facing organ. It is a organ. So we have to take care of it and tend to it the same way that we think about heart health, the same way that we think about the importance of our lungs and everything like that. Those vital organs are going to get all the nutrients, all the hydration prior to your epidermis getting it. So anyways, I had a conversation with her. I'm like, I want you to drink 16 ounces of water to start your day before you pick up the coffee. And she's like, oh my God. I'm like, so what you're saying? This is my word, my phrase. So what I'm hearing you say is that you cannot prioritize, that you don't want to prioritize drinking water before you leave the house, so you can go to the bathroom, whatever the case may be, in order to ensure the best health for yourself. And she's a nurse. Ma'am. And so what it is that we put excuses in front of the reasons why we take care of ourselves, because we think that we have to deserve it, we have to earn it, that there's 1,000 other things and other people who have to come before us. So we have to prioritize a time for ourselves because nobody else is going to give it to you. So making sure you're setting aside time in your morning routine and your evening routine. And I like doing habit stacking. So if there's something that's a part of your routine, so if that means in the morning you do your devotion. So what is also a part of that devotion? Once you finish, you're going to add something to the start of that or to the end of that is going to be about your skincare routine. So you're going to go and do your skincare routine. You're going to wash your face. You're going to go through all your steps, listen to your favorite song, so on and so forth. But you're going to do that before or after something that's already a part of your routine, and prioritize that. Because what ends up happening is that you're going to elevate your mood. You're going to feel better. As Deion Sanders says, is when you look good, you play good, and when you play good, they pay you better. So knowing that if you look good, you're going to feel good, and you're going to walk out into the world completely different. So when you might have a little bit more patience backing out of the driveway. That might mean that you might hold the door open for somebody. You might tell somebody good morning because you're not being distracted, because you feel good. You like, girl, you got to see this skin. Hello, how are you? You know what I'm saying? And you never know what that turns into. Maybe that person needed someone to say hello to them. Maybe this person was getting ready to drop something and you were aware enough to hold that door open. And so this is the circle of life, we are all supposed to be in place, but the first person you have to be in place for is for yourself. So you got to prioritize that so you are able to be in place for other people outside of yourself, outside of your home, in the world. Everybody needs a little bit of grace, but we have to give it to ourselves first. And so many times, quick rebuttals. I don't have time for that. What do you mean? I bet you can go to your cell phone right now and see how much time you spend on social media. I bet you can say how Netflix you've been on Netflix and you've been scrolling through that. You've been sitting there watching SVU or a Lifetime, series for the last 6 hours. You could do something for yourself that's really going to help to benefit you in the long run. There's touch and massage to the face, to the body, is really relaxing for you, for your body, for your overall just peace of mind, and really taking good care of that. And you start to see it on your skin, because once you continue to do it, then you start to see your skin glow a little different. You're going to walk a little different. So it's really important that we take really good care of our skin, because it's the only face that we get. And now people do a little nip and a little tuck, but realistically, this is the face that you were born with. This is the skin that you're going to be in. And so we have to prioritize taking care of it, because it'll affect how we show up in the world.
Amen to that. And you're, oh, go ahead, Tom. Go ahead.
No, I like that encouraging um information, because you're right. We do need to take time for ourselves, if it ain't but 7 minutes,
Yeah.
and it's so important. And I'm glad to see a young sister being able to say these things and teach these things. And our young ladies today really need that type of encouragement and understanding of who they are and what their life should be consisted of. I mean, you're a prime example. I mean, granted, now you're a mother, your wife, you juggling your business, but you making a balance of your life. And that's so important for people to learn how to balance the activities of the day, but still have that 7 minutes for yourself. It's just, yeah, and I'm just using 7 minutes. I mean, you could have 10, or you know how to make 20, but starting with 7 minutes, just like I encourage my great nieces and nephew, spend 5 minutes with God. Just five
Yeah.
minutes. Like you say, read the devotion, or whatever it is, or just sit and just meditate and say, I just want to think on you right now for 5 minutes, and giving him that time. And no matter what happens that day, your mind is clear, you have a good outlook on life, and you're ready. And
Yeah.
so what you're exhibiting and what you're sharing, not just in the beauty aspect, but just a total body. I mean, granted, you're saying, your skin, but your skin have to also be educated how to eat, how to
Yep.
take care of your body. So all that you're saying is so vital and so important. My hat is off to you. And I'm glad to hear you tell and speak so eloquently about the aspects of what your love and passion is. That, I'm gonna have to have my granddaughter come back and listen to this, and hoping that she get in touch with you at some point in her journey, once she, I don't know whether it be before she finished school or after, but whatever the case may be, you know because she loved makeup. She sent me talking, Jima, did you see me on Instagram? I'm like, no. What you got? She said, Mama send you the video. So she, showing you how to apply the makeup properly and balance it out. So with that skincare information, she'll be able to tell you how to also clean it off and make sure you take care of your pores and all. Now, this is a question I have, because this is something I do for myself. I don't mind putting on I use a serum C in the morning, and I have a moisturizing with skin block. I clean my face every night, but I ain't putting on no night cream, because I remember my grandmama and them used to always say, you let your skin breathe. So is anything wrong with that? Because my skin is fine. It it does what it needs to do during the day, but at night when I'm getting ready to go to bed, I don't want nothing on there, because I want it to breathe. Have those 5, 6, sometimes 7 hours of free breathing. Because when I get up in the morning, I'm washing my face up and applying my moisturizing and sunblock and all that good stuff. So am I doing it wrong, or is it right?
It's wrong, but grandma had said what she had said. So when your skin is at rest, so your skin doesn't need to breathe hypothetically the way that we breathe. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have gills. So when your skin is at rest, it's restoring. So I can't with you, Lisa. When your skin is at rest, it's restoring. So while you're at rest, your skin's not having to fight environmental aggressors, sun, stress, any of the things, pollution. So you want to give it something that's going to kind of get it ready for the morning. One being a moisturizer. I think that everyone needs to be on a retinol at night. And what retinol does is it helps to promote and boost collagen and elastin production. It helps to get rid of uneven texture in the skin. It helps to brighten the skin, even out skin tone. And then when your skin is at rest, it allows those products to work more efficiently. So when you wake up in the morning, those products are fully marinated in. Think about something that you like to marinate, and then you pull it out in the morning and it's perfect the way it is, right? So your skin doesn't necessarily need to breathe. You do want to use products that help to keep it hydrated, because when we don't put on moisturizer, it creates more oil production. And we don't necessarily need the extra oil or sebum in the skin. We want it to be hydrated adequately with things like ceramides and hyaluronic acid and peptides and things like that. Because what ends up happening is, as we age, we lose collagen and elastin production. It goes down. It kind of turns off at a certain point in time. Gravity takes its effect. And so you want to make sure that you're continually getting your skin some type of exercise through the products that you're using. So you do want to use something at night in order to make sure, like, even, I like it colder at night and when I sleep. So that could be something that's more drying to my skin, which would leave my skin more dehydrated. So you want to make sure you're at least putting on the moisturizer, so that way you seal it in. The same way, think about when you get out of the shower and you don't put on lotion. How does your skin look? On the body. Now, on the face, it's going to look different because of oil production. But think about it. How does your skin look when you first get out of the shower and you just decide, I'm not going to put on no lotion today? How does it feel?
That ain't going to happen.
Exactly. That's the same thought process with the skin. Now, because our skin naturally has oil glands, which keep our skin looking, less dry than like a knee per se, but you still want to make sure that you're keeping your skin hydrated. It's all skin. And so obviously, we won't walk out with our knees looking all ashy. So do the same thing, because you want to keep it hydrated. Because if you dehydrate it over time, that skin gets harder and tougher. And then it's less, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not able to be as resilient as it could be if you're nourishing it the right way. So as you it's better to do preventative care than to do corrective care. Now, naturally, I'm in corrective care, so if you need corrective care, I got you. But the way that we have sustainable results and we love the skin that we're in is by taking the time to physically touch it and to physically put products on it. And so that means morning and night.
So I should be doing something at night.
Yeah, take your moisturizer, put it on. Even if you have your C serum, typically I would say a retinol at night, but just put a little moisturizer on. You don't need the one with the sunscreen. So that'll be we have to have a whole consultation, so we can get you the right products. But your skin will really appreciate it. Over time, you'll be able to see the difference.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you, Jesus.
No,
It's always good. That's okay, because you've been doing some other stuff, but that's all right, because you're gonna do it right. Yeah. And see, God, that's how good, precious God is, because He keeps us preserved. It's okay. It's okay. But when you know better, you'll do better. Mm-hmm. You do better. That saying, what I hear you saying, Nakia, is a social worker's term. What I hear you saying is, she grabbed that on her own. She didn't get that from me, y'all. She didn't get that from me. So
yeah.
It's just been a wealth of information, and 50 minutes does not, you got it in there. You got it in there. You got everybody listening saying, oops, even guys, young men. Okay, you know what? I got to do better on this. It's more than just going to have my hair, cut every 2 weeks. I need to take care of my skin and things like that. So I think you did it. You did it. And you can hear the passion, ladies. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I want to thank you, Nakia. I know my internet was going out, but this was great and definitely good information, and just is making me just want to take more time for myself, and I just want to input that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
And I'll give you her number, guys, because if you want to just talk with her a little bit, just to say, okay, this is she can assess you over the phone, and she'll make a moment to do that. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, well, as you could tell, that's our time, man. I mean, that's it. But this was a history in itself. This is a great way to end this month. It's about self-care. It's about loving yourself, loving the skin that you're in, and who better but a licensed clinician to tell you that and to give you every step that where and write it down, write it on your calendar to remind yourself until it becomes a habit, because it takes 30 days to acquire a habit. It takes 30 days to get rid of one. That's our time. Y'all have a blessed week. We'll see you next week, same time, same station. Night. Thank you, Nikia.
Bye-bye.